As a men's health expert, I've spent decades helping men over 60 understand what's really going on with their bodies. Not just on the outside, but on the inside too. And I thought I'd seen it all, until I started noticing a pattern that no one was talking about. A pattern that had nothing to do with testosterone levels or blood pressure, and everything to do with the brain. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever wanted to be intimate, but somehow your body just didn't respond? You felt the desire in your heart, maybe even in your gut, but when the moment came, nothing happened. Or maybe something started to happen, then vanished halfway through. You told yourself it was just age. Or maybe stress. Or maybe you blamed yourself entirely. But what if I told you that in many cases, the real problem isn't down there? It's up here. In your mind. In your nervous system. In your beliefs. Your past. Even in how you think about yourself as a man. What if your brain, not your body, was the one quietly holding the brakes? In this video, we're going to look at how your brain might be blocking your erections after 60, and more importantly, how to gently retrain it so your body can do what it already knows how to do. You'll understand how certain thought patterns, emotional memories, and nervous system responses can silently interfere with desire, arousal, and performance. And you'll learn how to shift those patterns, naturally, without pills, without pressure, using simple tools you can start tonight. And if you stay with me until the end, I'll give you a powerful nightly practice, a 3-minute routine that helps reset your nervous system and reconnect your brain and body so that erections become easier, more natural, and more deeply satisfying. Now, let's step into this gently, because I know how frustrating this can feel. So many men carry quiet shame about their performance. They feel like something's broken, like they've lost a part of themselves they can't get back. And the worst part, most of them think they're alone. But you're not. In fact, this is far more common than you think. And it's not just about blood vessels or testosterone. It's about how your brain has been conditioned over time, by stress, by disappointment, by fear of failure, to shut things down before they even begin. Let me tell you about Richard. He's 66, retired, married for over 30 years. He came to me after a year of feeling numb in the bedroom. His lab tests were fine. His heart was healthy. His testosterone was a little low, but not enough to explain the change. I just feel like my body doesn't respond anymore, he told me. It's like the switch is gone. But as we talked, something deeper came up. Richard had gone through a stressful year. Family problems. Financial worries. He'd had a few failed attempts at intimacy that left him feeling embarrassed. Over time, he began to expect failure. And his brain, in an attempt to protect him from more disappointment, began suppressing arousal before it could even start. You see, your brain is designed to keep you safe. It watches for patterns, it remembers pain, and it learns quickly what to avoid. If you've experienced repeated letdowns, awkward moments, or emotional pain around intimacy, your brain may start to associate sex not with pleasure, but with pressure, with anxiety, with failure. And when that happens, your nervous system responds by activating the brakes, tightening muscles, constricting blood flow, and making arousal feel distant or even impossible. This isn't about weakness. It's about wiring. And the good news is, wiring can be changed. The first step is awareness, realizing that it's not just your body that's involved in arousal. It's your thoughts, your breath, your emotional state, your history. And when all those things come together in harmony, your body responds naturally. But when even one of them is out of balance, especially the brain, everything else struggles to keep up. Richard didn't need a prescription. He needed to feel safe again. Safe in his body. Safe in intimacy. Safe to feel desire without the weight of expectation. So we started small. Breath work. Gentle movement. Reframing the way he talked to himself before intimacy. Instead of thinking, what if I can't perform? He learned to ask, can I stay present and feel what's here without judgment? That shift from performance to presence was the beginning of everything changing. And that brings me to you. If you've been struggling with erections and the usual advice hasn't helped, try looking inward. Not to blame yourself, but to become curious. What beliefs are running in the background? What memories still linger? What expectations are you silently carrying that your body no longer wants to bear? Because once you start to notice those things, Once you become aware of how your brain may be holding you back, you can begin to let go, to breathe deeper, to trust more. And when your brain starts feeling safe again, your body will follow. In the next part, we'll explore the specific mental and emotional habits that quietly disrupt arousal, and how to replace them with simple, healing practices that reconnect you with your natural drive. But for now, just know this: you're not broken. You're not too old. And your brain, just like your body, is capable of change, gentle, lasting, and powerful change. Now that we've opened the door to the idea that your brain could be blocking your erections, let's go deeper and look at the 3 most common mental breaks that silently interfere with arousal after 60. The first one is performance anxiety, and it's more common than you think. Most men don't even realize it's there. But it shows up like this. The moment you're about to be intimate, your mind suddenly starts scanning for danger. What if I can't stay hard? What if I disappoint her again? What if this turns into another awkward moment I can't recover from? And just like that, your nervous system switches from relaxation to defense. Your breath shortens, your muscles tighten, and your brain says, "Shut it down, we're not safe here." The truth is, arousal doesn't happen when your body feels under threat. It happens when you feel relaxed, open, and present. But if you're constantly putting pressure on yourself to perform, to be hard on command, to prove something, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. I worked with a man named Ed, 71, who had been avoiding intimacy with his wife for almost 2 years. Not because he didn't want her, but because every time they got close, his heart would race with fear. "I keep thinking I have to get it right this time," he told me. "And the more I think that, the less anything happens." So we did something radical. We removed the goal entirely. Instead of aiming for intercourse, we focused on connection. Holding hands, kissing without expectations, breathing together. And little by little, as the pressure melted away, his body started responding again. Not because we forced it, but because we stopped forcing it. The second mental block is unresolved emotional memory. Many men carry shame, guilt, or unresolved emotions from earlier in life. Maybe from past relationships, early rejection, religious conditioning, or even a single painful moment that left a scar. These memories don't just disappear. They get stored in the body, in the breath, in the nervous system, and sometimes, without realizing it, they whisper messages that shape our experience. This is wrong. You're not enough. You don't deserve this. Imagine trying to become aroused while your subconscious is quietly replaying a story of failure or shame. No wonder your body doesn't cooperate. I once spoke with a man named Daniel who hadn't had an erection in nearly 5 years. All the physical tests came back fine. But when we talked, he shared something deeply personal. A moment in his late 20s when a partner laughed at his body during intimacy. He buried the memory for decades, but it never really left him. And even now, at 67, his body still tensed up at the thought of being seen. We didn't try to erase the memory. We acknowledged it. We honored the hurt. And we worked on creating new experiences, slower, safer, more respectful, to overwrite the old pattern. Within months, Daniel reported something he hadn't felt in years, a spontaneous erection. No stimulus. No pressure. Just his body finally exhaling. The third mental block is disconnection. From your body, from your desire, or from your partner. This one often sneaks in quietly. Life gets busy. The kids leave. You retire. Your roles change. And somewhere along the way, you stop feeling like a sexual being. You don't touch yourself anymore, not with curiosity or care. You stop flirting. You stop noticing desire when it shows up. And when you do try to engage, it feels awkward, foreign, like you're faking it. But here's the thing, desire doesn't die. It goes quiet when ignored. But it's always there, waiting. I had a client once who said, "I feel like I've lost the part of me that used to want." But when we looked closer, it wasn't that he didn't want. It's that he hadn't been giving himself permission to want. He was carrying this unspoken belief that sex was only for younger men. That intimacy at his age was silly or inappropriate. That wanting pleasure made him weak. None of that was true. But his brain had accepted it. And so his body followed. To rebuild that connection, we started small. He began noticing what felt good, in touch, in food, in movement. He let himself be sensual again, without judgment. And little by little, his desire came back. Not forced, not manufactured, just remembered. So now I ask you, which of these mental blocks resonates with you the most? The fear of performance? The weight of past shame? The quiet disconnection from your own body? Because naming it, gently, without judgment, is the first step to releasing it. And here's the beautiful truth: your brain can change. Neuroplasticity, the ability of your brain to rewire itself, doesn't disappear at 60 or 70 or even 80. You can create new patterns, new experiences, new signals of safety. And when your brain feels safe, your body starts to open again. In the next part, I'll show you how to guide your brain back into that state of openness with a simple nighttime practice that takes just a few minutes and helps restore the mind-body connection you may have lost. Because you haven't lost your manhood. You've just been living with the brakes on. And it's time, slowly, gently, to let them go. Let's talk about how we begin to undo the tension your brain may be holding. Not with force, not with pills, but with gentle consistency, a nightly practice that helps your nervous system feel safe again, so that your body can respond the way it wants to. Because here's the thing, your brain won't allow arousal when it thinks you're under threat. And many men, without realizing it, go to bed every night carrying stress, guilt, disappointment, the kind that keeps the body locked in protection mode. So tonight, I want you to try something different. Not a performance, not a technique, just a shift from tension to permission. Start by setting aside 5 minutes before bed. Turn off the screens. Dim the lights. Sit or lie down in a quiet space where you won't be interrupted. This time is just for you. No pressure, no expectations. Close your eyes and place one hand over your heart and one over your belly. Breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4 and exhale through your mouth for a count of 6. Do this 5 times. Let each breath feel like a message to your nervous system. We're safe. There's no rush. There's nothing to fix. Then gently scan your body. Can you feel your jaw, your neck, your chest, your lower belly? Can you feel your hips? You don't need to do anything with them. Just notice. Bring your awareness down, not to judge, but to reconnect. This alone is powerful. Now think back to a moment in your life when you felt desire without shame. Maybe it was decades ago. Maybe it was recent. Maybe it was subtle, a glance, a kiss, a soft laugh. Hold that feeling for a few seconds. Let it live in your chest, your belly, your hands. Don't try to force anything else. Just remember what it felt like to be open. If that feels too far away right now, that's okay. Then try this instead. Whisper softly to yourself, I still deserve to feel. I still deserve to connect. I still belong in this body. And yes, you can speak those words out loud. Or you can just think them. Either way, you're giving your brain permission to soften. And when the brain softens, the body follows. This simple practice may feel too easy, too gentle to matter. But let me tell you something I've seen over and over again. When men begin treating themselves with softness instead of shame, everything changes. Their breath deepens. Their posture shifts. Their tone of voice changes. And their erections, sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly, begin to return. Because the body remembers. It never forgets how to open. It's just been waiting for you to give it a reason. And it's not just about sex. It's about reclaiming a part of yourself that may have been shut down for years. A part that still wants to feel, to touch, to connect. A part that is just as alive at 60, 70, or 80 as it was at 25, if you give it space. One man I worked with started doing this nightly practice after months of struggling. At first, he felt silly. He said, I'm just sitting here breathing in the dark, and nothing's happening. But 2 weeks later, he came back and said, it's strange. I'm waking up with morning wood again. Not every day, but enough to notice. Enough to feel proud. That's the power of safety. That's the power of presence. And that's what your brain has been asking for all along. So here's my invitation. For the next 7 nights, give yourself 5 quiet minutes before bed. No screens. No distractions. Just you, your breath, your body. Listen. Breathe. Let go. And see what starts to wake up. Because this isn't about fixing what's broken. You're not broken. This is about remembering what's been buried under years of pressure, expectation, and silence. It's about building trust with yourself again, not just as a man, but as a human being who still longs to feel. And if you felt seen or heard in this video, if something inside you said, "Yes, that's me," then know you're not alone. And more importantly, know that change is possible. If you found this helpful, I'd love for you to leave a comment below. Let me know what resonated. Share your story if you feel ready. Or just write one word, starting. That's all it takes. And if you want more videos like this, no shame, no hype, just real talk for men over 60, subscribe to the channel. We've got so much more to explore together. Take care of yourself tonight. Breathe deep. Let your brain rest. And let your body begin to remember.